Hey, it's Connor from Bigfoot Anonymous. I'm here with my buddy Chris, who has a couple stories that sent chills up my spine. You want to let us into a few of them, Chris?
Yeah, so me and my stepfather we lived up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and spent many a night going up into the mountains hiking. Plenty of times it snowed, nothing particularly special. The only interesting encounter we ever had was one night we were going up Mount LeConte, and it recently started snowing, so there was a relatively untouched blanket of snow on nearly everything. And we had reached a clearing up near a stream, and we saw two backpacks kind of just out in the snow. And there was no snow on the backpacks as if they'd been sat there recently, so we thought we were just going to see some fellow hikers up there. But there were no footsteps leading to or from the backpacks, just untouched snow, undisturbed. Nothing on the backpacks. We stood around and looked around for about 10-15 minutes. No one came up. No, we hadn't seen anyone else on the trail going up or down. We didn't find anyone around the area, no type of disturbance or anything. We had no idea. We just left them there. We probably should have alerted the authorities or something, but I was 13. I didn't know any better, and my father didn't think to do so.
Yeah.
So we just found them there, and we never found out. There was nothing in the news of hikers going missing or anything. Just two backpacks, undisturbed, left there, just in case they had just left them there, and somehow all that had just happened by itself. We left them there. Yeah, but we ended our hike a little early after finding those.
Yeah, I don't
We
even
kind of
know
just
what the source could be of that. A lot of hikers and hunters leave, caches and stuff
yeah.
hidden around the path, but this was right out in the open.
Yeah, it was left. It was way too. It was just. It didn't make nothing added up. It was
Yeah,
untouched, but it should have been at least had some snow on it.
right.
Just a little bit, you know. It looked like someone had just put it down seconds ago.
That's crazy. That
Just
kind of reminds me of a lot of the missing 411 cases when they find these people's clothes like folded in the middle of a river or a
yeah,
boulder, and it's like,
just
where
there.
did they come
How
from?
and why?
Yeah, that's that's spooky. What about the haunted house that you used to live in? I remember you saying you had some strange encounters
Yeah,
there.
we first moved up there with my grandmother, and after about a year, she got homesick, so we moved into one of the few low income housing there. It was a trailer,
Hmm.
and up until then, my mother, none of us had had any spiritual encounters. This was before I was a teenager, so I hadn't been hiking or anything. It was far before the backpack thing. And once we moved into that trailer, mom was always kind of talking about how she didn't. Anytime she was alone, she didn't really feel alone. You know, it was just that eerie feeling at all points and times.
Definitely.
And anytime she tried to, like catch it, she never saw anything concrete, or just for her own eyes. She just always felt like it.
Hmm.
And there were instances where you misplace things all the time. You can't just always blame it on ghosts. But
Yeah.
there were these instances where things that it wasn't just a simple misplace. It was something that would only ever be in my room, had no business anywhere else. Would just end up in the laundry room across the house, or end up in her bathroom. And so we often thought maybe it's just a mischievous little spirit. But we had no proof. We didn't want to set up cameras or anything. This was about when I was about 14, my sister was born, and a few years afterwards, she could talk, and kind of just simply describe things. And mom would take her into the living room, and it was one night before, right as they were going to bed, so she was carrying Danica. And then this is what my mom told me, is she felt that eerie feeling, and she looked and didn't see anything, as was routine. But later that night, Danica had noted seeing in her words, a tall person behind, and mom was like, when? She's like, in the living room, and then we believe that was the spirit that mom had always felt, and was kind of just mischievously doing things.
Hmm.
We had never felt malicious intent from it. We moved down here few years ago. I think it's 2 years ago in March.
Mhm.
So we just hadn't really felt anything. Nothing notable. We came down here, and my cousin Buck had stayed over for a few days, 3-4 days, and he wears prescription sunglasses. It was right before he left. It was kind of the evening he was going to leave, and he was distraught. Absolutely, he could not find his glasses, no matter where he looked. So we just assumed, he's 12. He just lost his glasses somewhere, And we were like, "Did you put them?" So where did you put them? He's like, "They've been nowhere. Like I went to sleep with them, beside me, and when I woke up, I just cannot find them."
Yeah.
So we just had to send them on, and of course he got in trouble with his dad. That's why he was crying,
Of course.
About a week later, there is this a frame around the mirror about an inch out, and I'm about 6 foot tall. The roof's about 3 foot, so it's about 9 foot up there for just it's just a frame, and we just went to clean it, because dust gets up there. It's where the lights are, and his glasses were just sitting up there. Up on the frame.
And that would have been impossible for him to climb up there.
Even if it was possible, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Cry about it?
Yeah, he would not have got himself in trouble.
He had nothing to gain.
Right. Poor Buck,
Yeah, man. He was, I'm sure his father was like, I don't know how his dad is spiritually, but
right.
It's just the weirdest thing. I've kind of moved out, so we haven't had anything else notable happen, but yeah, that's it.
That sounds like a mountain of stuff. So hopefully the future, a little bit of cleanse, but we know that this energy, if it surrounds us, most of the time it's just curious, and it's just existing as well. So we just got to coexist and walk a fine line of balance. Well, definitely appreciate the stories, man, and that backpack in the middle of the Smoky Mountains. That's some spooky stuff.
I pray nothing bad can happen.
I hope not. I hope everybody's okay and those weren't missing hikers or anything. Wow, we would have heard more about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah,
it's right up the alley of where Dennis Martin was taken, so it's definitely some spooky stuff up there near Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg.
That mountain's huge, and I'm sure
it is.
Many a nook and cranny has never been touched.
The hills have eyes, man. The hills have eyes. Well, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.